This video is going to show you how to develop your classroom wildly important goals and identify lead measures you're going to track that will lead to your success on wildly important goals. These are the first two disciplines of the four disciplines of execution. In the future, we will talk about 3 and 4, keeping a scoreboard and creating a cadence of accountability. The wildly important goal is the most important goal that you and your organization are going to focus on amid competing priorities. With all the things you need to accomplish and do, this is the one thing that if nothing else changed, if this increased, your organization, your school, your classroom would have been overall successful. You would feel like you accomplished what you essentially set out to do as a teacher. So the idea is you still need to do all the little things you need to accomplish throughout the day, but we're going to keep in mind what is wildly important. And we're going to make that visible and present in our classroom and in our school. So there's going to be a school wildly important goal, and there's also going to be a classroom wildly important goal. If you look, you see here we have individual team WIGs, or wildly important goal, that lead to the school wildly important goal. So here at Lincoln High School, they've identified a math WIG and a reading WIG. And their goal is by the end of the year to have reached 15% increase in literacy and about a 12% increase in mathematics. Thus, each teacher will have their own WIG, but their WIG needs to be aligned to the school WIG. But it's going to be for their students, and it might be an assessment that they have in their classrooms. So I, in my classroom, will increase, because I'm an English teacher, reading assessments from 15 to 30, which is a 15% increase. Well, what if I'm a history teacher? Well, my students still take the same assessment. So I can still contribute to their success. And I can either give my own assessment that involves reading and say my students will increase their achievement on my reading heavy assessment from 15% to 30%, or I can say, my students will increase on the ninth grade benchmark for reading that they all take from 15 to 30. So I'm still have the same WIG. The difference is it's my students in my class, and we as a group are going, and my group being me and my students, are going to work towards hitting that WIG. And we're going to make that visible and present in our classrooms. Here you see the idea of acting on lead measures. A lag measure is your WIG goal. It's something that is in the future, it's hard, it's heavy, and it's very difficult to move. As a teacher or an administrator, I'm going to think about what are the lead measures. Those activities, practices, strategies, actions that I can take, that I believe will predict success on that lag measure, and that I have influence on. Something that I can measure on a daily or weekly basis, and that I believe if this increases, if I increase this thing, then my rock or my lag measure down in the future will increase. For example, if my lag measure is to increase my child's books read from 2 to 12, that's down the line. Today and every day, I can do a lead measure, which is requiring him to read for 30 minutes having whole family reading at a designated time, weekly family book talks. These are things that I predict will have success on that and that I can influence. Here's one for school. Our lag measure down the line is we believe that we want to have seniors create an e-portfolio at the success rate of 90%. So daily, these are two things we wanted to have as lead measures. Students are given an hour per week, and students attend a one-on-one workshop. I can measure whether those are happening. So this is our worksheet that I would like everyone to complete, which is identify the school WIG, which is created for you. Then in your classroom, what will you achieve, your students achieve in order to get there? Well, it's going to be essentially the same, except it'll be with your students. So you'll need to see where are your students in this, in terms of what percentage of your students are reading on grade level, and then how can you increase that? And then what is 15% more or 12% more? Depending on what your school WIG is. And then finally, classroom lead measures. What is something that you believe if you and your students do this daily or weekly, it will directly predict increasing that lag measure, and that you can measure it. You have a way to track whether it's happening in your classroom. So I have here, we will read and analyze at least one nonfiction grade level article each week. Students will have to answer an open-ended DOK3 question and a multiple choice question. And when I create a scoreboard later on, I will see how that increases over time. Thank you, and I hope this was helpful.